For joining us with Protect the P. My name is Dion Webster Cox. I am the creator, the developer, pop maker, candlestick maker, the baker, and I've got other people here. But my guest today is Randy Holloway.
Yes.
Who has graced me with his presence because he is a filmmaker, an editor, a writer, a director. I saw your credits, and I hope you came prepared to tell me what your P is and how you protect it and why you protect it, because that is major. Thank you very much for coming, and tell me more. Impress me. You know, I'm interviewing. I think I realized, I said, maybe I'm using this as a platform, as my platform.
First off, thank you for having me. I'm always honored to share my story with people who are interested in what I do. I have been in entertainment almost 30 years now. And I actually started out, which is funny, I used to work for Chrysler. I was working on the line, and I was going to the movies a lot. And I would go to the movies maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And I would start to tell people about the movie. I'll see the same movie over and over. But I started telling about the movies, and people were like, "Man, that's pretty good." And more people started asking me, so I got tired of talking. Because Chrysler at the time, running 3 shifts, that's when everything was booming. Telling 3,000 people about the movie, talking over and over, my voice would get tired. So I said, let me start writing these movie reviews. So I started writing movie reviews, and they were really good. And I was actually studying engineering at the time. And people started telling me, like, man, you need to turn these into your school paper. So these little movie reviews that I wrote up, and I turned them into my school paper. School paper hired me. I end up reviewing a movie, Billy Elliot, about the miners' strike in Ireland, I think whenever that strike was, a big strike. It was based on that time. And a young boy, he had an Irish father. His father was trying to put him in boxing class. He was going to boxing, but he was getting beat up a lot. He didn't really like it. And they had like a ballet class at the same time. It was like in like a community center. And so the boy started seeing a ballet, and he started going to that while his father thought he was going.
Oh, his daddy was boxing. Mad. His daddy was mad about
Irish
that.
miner, like he was pissed.
Right.
But the boy got very, very good. And at that screening, me being a young black boy with these credentials, I'm there with the Detroit News, all these big time movie critics. But this lady saw me with these press credentials, and again, being a young black guy, she's like, "Where you get that from?
Right.
Like, who gave you that?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, "Why are you stopping me out of all these people?" But I'm like, "Oh, no, I write for my school paper." And that lady took me under her wing. Turns out she worked for Warner Brothers.
Oh, wow.
And from that point, I became like this screen. It was like one thing led to another. She turned me on to this gentleman with this magazine. I started writing for the magazine. They loved my work. He turned me on to Columbia Pictures, and I became like Columbia Pictures screening representative for here.
And you were still working for Chrysler?
Still working for Chrysler.
So, okay, I want to stop. So, this was 30 years ago, so hopefully you feel comfortable talking about it. So, how much did they pay you to do that?
Columbia, I forgot how much it was then. Maybe $250 a show, a screening, or something like that.
So that was decent money back in '93. That was something that you could take a few more ladies out.
Yeah, I did. But it was a lot of perks to it, because I got to be around a lot of celebrities, and start seeing all the movies ahead of time. And I would, because they would send me the assignment like, "Hey, we got this movie coming out. We got Uncle Cracker coming. We got Jaheim coming." And we working with WJLB giving out the passes, but I would make additional passes to bring everybody from Chrysler.
Oh,
and so,
they really appreciated that.
Well, at first they didn't know what was happening, because they was only renting out small theaters, because it cost money to rent out the theaters.
Right.
So they would rent out 180 seat theater, but I would have 1,000 people show up, and they couldn't figure out like, how are all these people coming? But eventually they figured out I was bringing more people. And they were like, "Listen, you got to let us know, because the money, we can't just do it like that."
That's right.
Getting this promotion also. And those were a huge success. But from there, by me setting those up, doing my interviews, eventually I started. I like the door started opening up in entertainment because, like I tell you, I was studying engineering. I was getting straight A's, physics, calculus, all that stuff.
So you're just a savant.
And that was just the very beginning. And when I was working, by me doing that stuff, maybe even right before that, the first person I interviewed was Adam Sandler. And I was a huge, huge fan of Adam Sandler. And I'll never forget, I was at Chrysler. And I got the call from my school. They said, hey, we got something for you. Adam Sandler. I was like, cool, where you at? He's in Chicago. I'm like, what? And they're like, you have to go this day. And I had to work. And I was I think I had just became full-time at Chrysler. So
you had to make a decision.
I had to make a decision. But here it was. People saw my work ethic. They knew who I was. They knew I wasn't one of them idiots running around the plant, living for plant life. Mm-hmm. And my area manager, at the time I went to him, Patrick Sauer was his name. And I said, Patrick, I have an opportunity. I have to go interview Adam Sandler.
And he told you yes. He said, go ahead and do it.
Not only he said, yeah. I'm sorry, Patrick, if it's long enough and Chrysler's no longer around, so we should be good. Now it's Stellantis. So he said, no problem. Come in, punch in, go to the job, whatever you got to do. And whatever time you got to leave, go out the back door and fly to Chicago, spend a day with him, and come back through that back door and leave out the front. That was the first time I did an interview of that.
Oh, you're talking about time card fraud is what you can commit.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Oh, I am not for stealing with permission. So that was conspiracy.
Yeah,
conspiracy, but it was to help you, further you, and a choice had to be made.
And a choice had to be made
at the expense of Chrysler. Okay, now, okay. Well, so we have to just thank Chrysler.
Yeah,
because they paid you for that day.
Listen, Chrysler.
Thank you, Chrysler.
No, I always give credit to Chrysler because another story. As I was saying, I was studying engineering. I was like 4 classes away from graduating with an engineering degree. I gave that all up.
4 classes?
I gave it all up to go back for film and TV.
Okay,
right?
All right.
So, but Chrysler, because it started, I went to Specs Howard. You know, that's why first I was at Wayne State for engineering, but I went to Specs Howard. Chrysler paid for all of that.
And thank you, Chrysler.
But here's a story that I do want to share because I'm forever like indebted to Chrysler for what they did for me in my career. But they had stopped paying for classes at that. Like if it didn't end up in a 4-year degree, they would stop paying for it because I had took like radio, I had took like massage class, all that. They had paid for all that, but then they stopped. And so when I applied for Specs Howard, I forgot the lady who I was talking to at the center that you had to call to get them to pay for. And she was like, okay, just submit the paperwork. I submitted. They came back maybe a month or so later, and they were like, I'm sorry, we don't pay for this no more. We got to end the degree. I said, oh, man. She was like, but let me see what I can do. Don't give up. Just keep calling me and check. I started calling her every day. I was always nice, though.
Of course.
I never got frustrated. I was down because it's something I really wanted to do. I said, man, I waited too long. I missed it. Probably, it was in January, like right after the class.
Right after it started.
Right after it started. She called me. She said, Mr. Holloway. I said, yes. She said, okay. She said, I thank you so much for your patience. She said, I have the news for you. We finally met. I said, okay. I said, y'all can't do it. She said, no, we can do it. She said, and she said, here's the kicker. We're only doing this for you. She said, thousands of people have submitted their applications, but everybody called, was nasty, was angry. She said, you never got upset. You never raised your voice. You was always polite. You was always so kind. And everybody here recognized that. And so for you and you only, we're going to send you through and pay for it. She said, don't tell nobody. I said, I won't tell nobody.
Oh my, that's a wonderful story. And that's why I always tell, and that's why I always say, you can always say hello to somebody. You can always, there's no reason to be rude, especially if you're trying to get something. So what does it gain you to, you asking me for something? What does it gain you to be mean to me? That you asking me for something?
Yep. Yeah, I tell people that all the time. Like, and that changed my life, right?
Okay, so you go to Specs Howard. Specs Howard, mm-hmm. And then what happens?
I go to Specs Howard. I start taking classes there. Finished like top of the class, won every award. Before I graduated, that's when TV 20 News came calling. And they said my teacher called me, the guy that was in charge of our group. He called me to the office and said, "Hey, Channel 20 want to hire you." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "I never filled out." I said, "Who sent the application?" I never. They said, "I don't know. They noticed wherever they noticed you from somebody. Nobody said how they found out about me." And they brought me in a TV 20. And Sarah Norad Phillips was the GM at the time, and she had me intern. I was an intern for 2 weeks, and she made me a producer after.
So sometimes you got to just take chances, right?
Sometimes you have to take
Oh, I'm
chances.
so wondering. It's a wonderful story.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take chances.
Okay, so you were at Channel 20. How long did you stay there?
Oh man, maybe I probably was a year and a half, maybe 2 years at TV 20. Yeah. And what happened there?
And then you were done with Chrysler. Did you leave?
No,
Chrysler?
I was still at Chrysler.
So you were doing double shift.
It was Chrysler. I was there, and I was doing one other thing. At the time, Black Cinema Cafe, I was doing that too. And Black Cinema Cafe was a precursor to the American Black Film Festival that you see now. And they used to rent out venues, not even movie theaters, venues once a month to screen black movies because they weren't showing black independent films anywhere back then. You really had to scratch and claw to get your stuff out compared to how it is now. Right?
So Black Cinema Cafe, you were allowed to bring your movie.
No. You would submit the movie to the headquarters or the people in charge. They would pick what movie they wanted to screen for the month. And so once a month, they rent out a venue and they have people come out and watch the movie and talk about it. And that would be it. And that started, like I said, the American Black Film Festival. We kicked off in Acapulco, but now I think they're down in Miami now.
Really? Did you go?
Yeah. I went to one in New York. I did do that. I'm sorry. When it was in New York. And met Charles Dutton and Spike Lee. So that was cool. I forgot about that.
Okay. So now you are at Channel 20. You are Black Cinema Cafe
and
Chrysler and a third thing that we don't quite remember.
Well, it was those three things, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it was those three things.
And then what was next? How did that go?
And then so while I'm at TV 20, one of the people who has been a tremendous beacon of light in my life, and especially with what I do, out in California, marketing company out there, he reaches out to TV 20 and say, "Hey, I need somebody that really loves movies. I need them to interview some folks."
So that's you.
That was me. And so he got an email back. This guy, Randy Holloway, is a great guy. You should talk to him. He talked to me, and the rest was history. Next thing I knew, I'm flying all over the country, interviewing all these celebrities. The Will Smiths, the Chadwick Boseman, the Michael B. Jordans, the Brad Pitts.
Okay, now I gotta ask you, did you ever go to a Diddy party?
I've never been to it.
You didn't get to play in the Ranger games?
In fact, people always told me, they always told me, like, I'm good where I am. Like, even coming out the Hollywood, they say, you don't need to be out here in Hollywood. Like, where you are with your talent, with what you're able to do, stay where you are. You'll be a big fish in a small pond. You come out to Hollywood, it's too busy. Everybody's out here. They're good. They're vying for the same thing. We've never seen nobody with your level of work in Detroit. Stay there and then corner that market, and you will have a line to us. So I started doing that, and I was still at Chrysler. I ended up leaving Chrysler in like 2009.
Really?
Yeah.
But you left with I was gonna say you had left with a buyout.
Yeah, took the buyout. And first thing from there was I started working with like American Idol. I would work with shows that came into town, and I started working with the American Idol, So You Think You Can Dance, Bar Rescue. I worked with a lot of shows, and in doing that, I would position myself because people always saw my work ethic. Every job I ever worked, I got promoted. Even out at Chrysler, I started writing the movie reviews. They took me off the line. I was the editor of the paper and writing speeches for the plant manager, union president.
Nice.
Yeah, I've always been a great writer. And the writing started when I was in high school. I was like Cyrano de Bergerac. I was writing love letters for people to get their girls and stuff. So I've always been a great writer.
Yes.
And I just honed my skills and got better and better as the years went by. And I got it. Like I was a Sundance Screenwriting Fellow, New York Foundation Arts Fellow. So I'm very, very good at writing. But
thank you, Brittany. I have to give thanks when thanks is due because it was my niece blood of my blood, who told me about you.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so you have been redeemed and you can stay. You can stay. I'm just joking. She can stay anyways, but I'm just saying. It's a wonderful. I'm so
Yeah.
happy to have met you. That's why I'm
Yeah.
interrupting. I'm so happy to have met you.
No, it's fine, and I appreciate that. I'm honored to be here. As I'm working for all these shows, I'm seeing how they're operating.
You see the
And I'm
process.
watching.
You see what it takes. You see the steps.
Mm-hmm. And so, as I'm doing this thing again, my work ethic was so good. I would come in with all my friends or whatever as a PA at the time, just studying. But I would always end up with the executive producers, and they would take me under their wing and say, "Hey, we see that you're working. You know what? Especially one time, like, so you think you can dance? They seeing me work, like, hey, end of the day, everybody getting to go home. They like, hey, come here for a minute. I'm like, what's going on? We really like what you're doing. You want to go to dinner with Paul Abdul? I'm like, what? Of course I do. They're like, okay, Paul Abdul and Jason Derulo, we want you to come back. You're going to go out to dinner with them. And I had the opportunity to do that. But as I'm doing this stuff, I'm looking at how this process go. And I said, you know what? I can do this. I can make my own shows.
Yeah.
And because as I'm watching, I'm learning that's where the money's at, right?
Is it in the distribution? It's in you got to be in the creative part, right?
Yeah, creative
because
part.
you got to be the person who's going to put the money up. Because then at that point, that's when you get to sell your idea.
Yeah.
And you got to pay your people. That's part of your expense or cost of the show.
Yeah. And so me and a partner of mine at the time, Shana Ortiz, we created our company, our Arte Productions company. And we put together this sizzle reel for a pilot for this show. So it kind of went sideways. But the only good thing about that project was they saw the level of my work.
Right.
And so they always thought, we had a whole crew, like 50 people doing this stuff. Like, no, it really was me and a few other people.
With a handheld.
Yeah. And a lot of times I would just have them like, put the camera on your shoulder, stand here and don't move. Aim it this way. I'm going to go over here and work this camera. All you got to do is make sure you get this. And they didn't really know how to work the cameras. They know how to work the sound.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
Put it together. And my editing skills were very, very good.
Okay.
And so at that particular time, it was like, man, do this. I had another guy. He was working with me. He knew the camera. But everybody else, it was always one of the things where it was just stand here, aim this way, don't move. Like, and do the thing like this.
No stabilizers.
Right. No stabilizers at the time. So, but everything always came out good because once I got into editing, I could do what I needed to do.
Okay. So that one, now what happened next? Because I saw your resume. They don't call it resume. Your catalog.
IMDb. Yeah. And everything I've done, I have to put everything up there. There's so much stuff that's not up there. My resume is probably as long as this table. I've done
you've been doing this for 30 years.
I've been doing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff over there. A lot of stuff I forget about. Like, oh, I forgot I did that. But yeah, but it's always been learning. I've every opportunity I've had, I've taken opportunity to learn. Right. Even to this day, producing, writing, directing these films, I'm learning something new every time.
I got so many questions for you, but I'm gonna start here. What's your P?
I want to say performance.
Performance.
Yeah, because you perform right, no matter what you do, you're going to get the results that you want. You may not get the answers you want, but the results will be there. Yes.
I'm also hearing your purpose.
Yeah.
And passion.
Yeah.
So I get a couple of P's from you. So now you've done that. We only have so much time, and it's going to be edited down and everything. And you're fascinating. You're absolutely fascinating. So you are the person that makes things happen for other people. That's part of your gift. And as a result, things happen for you. You're truly in the service industry. Yeah. I see you as a service.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I get yelled at a lot. People like, you doing too much for people. You ain't even getting nothing out of it. But I am getting something.
You do get something out of it.
And I love helping people. People call me, and no matter how busy I am, how tied up I am, if I can do it, I will do it. And a lot of times, people are asking, I say, yeah, but I have so much other stuff I said, yeah, too. I'm trying to knock them out one by one. But I truly do love helping
What you do.
people and helping people make their dreams come true. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that.
Tell me, I want to hear some movies. I know it's so complicated. That was 2016. I want to hear movies. I want to hear it all. I'm interested
So
because I'm thinking in my mind, how can you help me? And I'm thinking,
so
it's working.
I have 3 movies in post production right now.
In Detroit, or you traveled to
Detroit, Atlanta, Ohio, Arizona, Chicago. I've been around.
Are they dope movies? Dope boy movies? Are they love stories? Are they psycho women stories?
2 of them are kind of dope boy movies, but not really, because I'm trying to create something different.
Okay.
There's plenty of those stories out there.
A lot of dope boy movies.
There's plenty of those stories out there. One movie that's getting ready to be a premiere. We don't have the date yet. It's called True Colors.
Okay.
The story is a guy like G-Rock plays this drug kingpin is ready to get out of the game.
Okay.
And he got his 2 nephews that always looked up to him growing up. And now they want to get into it. Like, hey, it's been a family business, right? So him and his sister, they had a father. He was a man. Mm-hmm. Brought them, tried, bring the sister, brother up into
the dope game.
To the dope game.
Why do that to your kids though? Why do that to them? Okay, that's just my own personal thing.
That's
go
society.
Ahead. That is okay.
Right.
All right.
And so the nephews want to get into it, but the sister kind of strayed away from it. Like, she got out of it. I don't want my kids into it. No, I'm not doing it. And G-Rock like, okay, y'all can't do it, your mama. But young boys gonna be boys. We want it. So they end up getting into it, and a whole lot of chicanery goes on behind the scenes. Murder and all this kind of stuff. And
Murder and mayhem.
Okay,
that's good. That sells.
But it's good. The music banging. It's gonna do really, really well. Just really good.
Are you releasing it on Tubi? Are you?
It should be on. It should be on Tubi. But we'll see. I know it'll go on Tubi.
Okay.
And at this time, it probably out on Tubi now. Right.
What's the name again? What's the name?
True Colors.
True Colors. Are we writing that down somewhere? Somebody.
Check it out, y'all. True Colors.
True Colors.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Now what's another one? Please not another. Okay, no, you said you got 2 dope boy movies.
No. So, one is already has been out.
Okay, what's the name of that one?
It's All or Nothing.
It's All or Nothing.
Yeah, and that's about another father who owns this appliance store in the music business and trying to turn it over to his kids, but the kids is in the drugs and he's trying to get them out and get them on their path, but they get mixed up with some stuff and almost get everybody killed. So it's one of those type of stop the violence type movies, but you have a little bit of drug activity going on in it.
You are the writer, the director.
I co-wrote that one, but directed and produced it. And It's All or Nothing wrote, directed, and one of the producers. And these new movies. One is called Sick Day. And it's about this young lady who was battling for fair wages for her job. And it ended up becoming a national crusade to raise the minimum wage. Another one called Unrequited Love.
Oh, now what's that about?
So Unrequited Love is a drama about a husband and wife whose marriage was on the rocks. And they end up taking a trip to New Orleans. So yeah, we filmed in New Orleans too.
Okay.
Took a trip to New Orleans, rekindled their romance.
How did they rekindle?
Just spending time with each other, seeing each other, because he's a musician, singer, she's an attorney. So they was always kind of gone and never really had a chance to spend time with each other. And people would always ask, how can you write in so many different voices? One of the blessings of working at Chrysler. Again, that's why I'm so grateful for Chrysler.
That's it. You meet so many different types of people.
So many different types of people.
And the diversity of it all.
People would always people would just talk to me.
Right.
Always open up and talk to me and tell me all kinds of stories. And I was always listening about their lives and what happened and what caused. And I would ask, well, why would you do that? And they would tell me why they did certain things and why they thought they did certain things, why they thought their husband, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their mother, their father, why they did certain things, and it always stuck with me.
Yeah.
So I was always able to channel that and tell this story.
So now you got these movies. So
Mhm.
has it brought you the? I don't even know how to say this because this is what I always tell people. God is my source, and I live in abundance.
Mhm.
And that what my abundance is different for anybody else. Are you living in abundance for whatever that is for you? And I'm not asking
Right.
what it is for you.
Right? Yeah, of course.
Okay,
I am.
that's all that matters.
I have to give thanks and praise every day because I probably should have been living on the subway or me on the street downtown somewhere. Like, how am I still?
It wasn't gonna happen though.
Right? Like, God, I'm still going. I haven't had a job in forever. Like, how am I still able to do this?
And finance movies because producer means you putting money up.
Or finding the people with the money.
Okay, well that's still a job, right? That's still work.
Yeah, because they got to believe in you and they have to trust you. Which goes to my latest movie that I have done called Fragile Bonds.
Okay.
This movie, I've always been fortunate to work with some great talent and people. And a lot of people, including in Detroit, a lot of the stalwarts that's been around was part of my tree. And a lot of people don't know that because, like I say, people get the spotlight and they don't remember where it started, how it started. But I've helped a lot of people here. So I've had a chance to work with a lot of people, giving them breaks, their first breaks. Like a lot of people wasn't giving people opportunities to be camera guys, to be producers, to be sound. I would just say, hey, come on, let's go. I'll do it. Because I always knew in editing I could do enough to make it what it needed to be or close enough.
We are almost demigods, and I'm going to just say it because we are willing to give people opportunities and chances. Even when you don't believe in yourself, we see it in you and we give you an opportunity. Like, here, try this, do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying it takes a gift to do that. I need to know, do you have any type of practice that you do every single day? Now, what does that mean? I'm going to give you an example. Every morning I wake up, I meditate, I roll over, I journal, I make up my bed, I exercise. Before I go to bed, I go ahead, I do another exercise, and I also meditate. And that's how I do it. Do you have anything that you do?
Yeah, I definitely meditate every day.
Okay. Meditation.
Yeah, I work out.
Too.
And I just appreciate. I just stop and just appreciate in moments, just being thankful again to be able to do what I do and to be able to do it for so long. And it's more people now around that's had a lot of success, and people know them because they're doing like 10 movies a year, and they just got their machine and they rolling. But I've just been in a position to just be able to appreciate the gift and the time and know that what I really want to happen is happening. And it's something happening right now, and now it's probably I'm probably where I'll be filming and all this stuff. Happening like right now by the time this airs.
This is the Oscars show. So the Oscars will be, I think, March 5th, 2025. I looked that up and I sent everyone a text this year, and that's what it's nice to have a film person. Now, how do we get in touch with you? Because this is going to automatically stop. It's a great program, Beeb, at I don't know, when it gets to 59.50.
All right. You can go to my website, randyholloway.com.
Holloway.
Holloway. HOLLOWAY. You guys,
I got you stumbling.
RandyHolloway.com. Or Holloway at randyholloway.com. You can send me an email. But you can get in contact with me through my website. And yeah, a lot of fun. Fragile Bonds is a new movie. That was probably the first movie where I cried on set. The talent where I felt, because the talent, I told them on set during one of those scenes, the talent finally matched my level of writing.
Oh, wow.
In the moment where I needed it to.
Oh, wow.
And it was tremendous. The talent in that film is something special. Ryan Nicholas, my partner, Ariel Lewis, partner in that film, really came together and made something special. Something different now. Especially something different around
Fragile Bonds.
Fragile Bonds.
Fragile Bonds.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was filmed here in Detroit.
Filmed here in Detroit.
Oh, wow. You
Detroit,
are amazing.
Birmingham, Ferndale.
Oh my gosh, you are amazing.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for
Thank
coming
you for
on,
having me.
for being here. This was so educational.
Yeah.
Protect the persistent.
Protect the persistence.
Yeah.
Protect the persistence. Yes.
Yeah.
She
You have
did
to
it.
be.